Good evening, everyone. Welcome to MBA Karo. So today we have a team of students from SCMHRD, and they are going to guide you about SNAP, about SCMHRD, the admission process over there, and all about SCMHRD that you would like to ask from these. So I would like to hand over the chat to this team from SCMHRD, and they will take up this session and will guide you about SCMHRD and tell you about this Aspirant outreach drive.
Thank you so much, sir, for the introduction. So, hello, guys. I hope your preparation is going really well. So, we are the admissions and PR team of SCMHRD Pune. My name is Agniva Mitra. I'm a first year student here at SCMHRD, and I am pursuing my MBA in Human Resources. My SNAP percentile last year was 99.2, and I'll hope that my team introduces themselves.
Hello everybody, I am Shiwangi Sinha and I am pursuing my MBA course in Business Analytics and my SNAP percentile was 99.25. Let's have a great session today.
Hello everyone, my name is Antra Rawat. I am a first year student. I'm currently pursuing MBA in Sales and Marketing. My SNAP percentile was 99.3.
So today we will be talking about a lot of things. We will be talking about the SNAP exam, its pattern, some tips and tricks that we as toppers of SNAP have found out. We'll try to guide you as much as we can. After that, we're going to give you a little bit insights about SCMHRD and why it is one of the best colleges under the banner of SNAP. So without wasting much time, I think we should proceed with the presentation. Next slide, please. Yeah. So talking about the SNAP exam, there are 3 sections that come in this particular exam. The first is the general English section, in which there will be 15 questions. Then there is the analytical and logical reasoning part, which consists of 25 questions. After that, we have the quant section, the quant's data interpretation and data sufficiency part, which consists of 20 questions. Now, please note that this brings the total to 60 questions and you only get 60 minutes to answer these questions. So you roughly get about a minute to answer per question. For every question that you mark correctly, you will get a marking of +1. And for every question that you mark incorrectly, you will get a negative marking of 0.25. Please note that this exam has 3 attempts. There is no limit to the number of attempts you can take for this particular exam. But on the other hand, we also suggest that you take the maximum number of attempts, which is 3, to maximize your chances of scoring the highest. Because SNAP is an exam in which there is no normalization. Instead, this test in which you score the highest marks, that particular marks will be considered for your final percentile calculation. Next slide, please. Now, talking about the SNAP timeline, now this is one of the most important slides in this particular presentation because, the last date of registration for SNAP is 22nd of November. Now, we highly suggest that you do not wait until later to register for SNAP because what happens is that it is a first come, first served basis. So your centers will be allotted and the earlier you register, the more chances you have of getting a center closer to your home. Now, I made a blunder last year. I registered on the last day of SNAP and my center was around 350 kilometers away from my house. And I'm sure my teammates right over here, they had very different experiences from mine, which I would want them to share. So, Antra, if you could please share your experience with it.
So yeah, definitely you should register on time because as we have seen previous year also, there were a lot of exams in which the center was changed on the very last date. And if you don't register, there is a chance of you missing also and your chance of not getting center that you want. So basically register on time and just go through this timeline once.
Yeah. So the last date of registration for SNAP ends on 22nd of November. So please make sure you register for SNAP by that time. Now the SCMHRD registration particularly ends on 7th of December. Now after you fill out the SNAP form, you will get a list of colleges and courses to choose from. In that, you have to choose the courses that you are interested in. And the last date for each of these institutions and courses are different. So please make sure when you're registering for a particular college, you're thorough with the last date of registration for each of them. Now for the date of the SNAP exam, the first attempt is on the 8th of December. The second attempt is on the 15th of December. And the third attempt is on the 21st of December. Please note that the respective admit cards for each of these attempts will be released 6 days prior to your actual test. For example, for the first attempt of SNAP, the admit card will be released on 2nd of December. For the second attempt, it will be released on 9th of December. And for the last attempt, it will be released on 15th of December. And for the most important date, that is the date of announcement of results, is tentatively on the 8th of January. Next slide, please. Now, in case you have not registered for Snap yet, we have the QR code right here. Now, the reason being that oftentimes what happens is that when people want to register for a particular exam, they search it on Google, and there are a lot of different links, which makes it very difficult to find out which is the actual link to go for. That is why we have over here the QR code for the snaptest.org website, wherein you can go and just at least bookmark this page right now. You can make the payment later on, so that later when you want to register for Snap and the various institutions that come under it, you can do so without having any problems. And we'll stay on this slide for 2-3 minutes. And if you have any questions in that time, you can ask.
So there is one question that I can see. Jaswini is asking, please suggest some strategy if I'm weak in quants. So Jaswini, you can follow the mocks that are there that are provided by MBA Karo as well. There are great mocks that are available, and from the practice of mocks, and the more you practice is what is making you strong in quants. For me also, I used to have a great time while I used to solve logical reasoning and English questions. But for me, quants was also one point that I used to struggle initially. But then practicing mocks was a great booster for my preparations. So I would give the same personal suggestion to you as well and all the aspirants here to practice the mocks, analyze it better, and then perform and analyze where you are falling short and where are your weaknesses. So that is how you can excel quants.
One more tip that I would like to give you is that in case you feel like you're weak in that particular section quants, please note that the level of difficulty of Snap is considerably lower than other management entrance exams. And you can score really well even if you do the basics of all of the things that come. So make sure that you're not scared of anything, and you, even if you're not comfortable with particular topics, please make sure you know the basics of them at least. And you can score a really great percentile. I can tell you that because I also had a very similar problem with quants. I was not very good at it, but then my strategy was so good that I was able to achieve the percentile that I had.
Another question that is coming from Sameer, is it necessary to give all 3 attempts? So Sameer, not necessary, but from my personal experience, I would say giving all the 3 attempts gives you a higher chance of maximizing your score, and the best of all the 3 attempts is what your final score will be. So for me, from my all the 3 attempts that I had taken, the best score was the second score which was there. So I would say I would suggest every one of you to attempt all the 3 attempts for Snap this year, and with that you will be on the safer side to get a chance to come in for the best of B school that is there in India.
Okay, so we have another question from Abhishek. What about vocabulary and any specific book for vocabulary? So personally, what I did was to read Norman Lewis, Word Power Made Easy. It really helped me in building my vocabulary, as it made me understand the words from their root words and made me really understand the words very nicely. And it really helped me improve my vocabulary. So personally, I would like to suggest you to read that book.
One more thing is that if you want to increase your vocabulary in a natural way, because what used to happen with me was I used to forget words very frequently. One thing you can do is that you can start reading newspapers and you can start reading books as well, because oftentimes when you do not know the meaning of a particular word, when you read it in a sentence in a particular context, you understand the meaning of this word even without knowing the actual meaning of exactly what the word means. And by reading more and more, you can also stay updated with the current affairs that are going on. And also you can increase your vocabulary naturally. You understand how to use certain words in certain sentences. So that is also one tip that you can remember if you want. So I think most of you have registered by now, and I think we can move forward with the presentation. So next slide, please.
Basically, this is the question that we all have, as we all are giving various entrance exams, but what to study is a question that is often asked. So we all know that there are three sections: verbal ability, logical reasoning, and quantitative ability. So for all these are the few topics. Like for verbal ability, we have synonyms and antonyms, fill in the blanks, idioms, and phrases. And for logical reasonings, we have topics like blood relations, arrangement, clocks, and calendars. And for quantitative abilities, we have topics like arithmetic, algebra, permutation, and combinations. So basically, one question arises that we are giving a lot of entrance exams. Why should we study specifically for SNAP? Why should we study both? So one question is, as you can see from the slide, that there are few topics that somewhat are overlapping with other entrance exams, but there are some topics that are a little different. So you have to prepare for SNAP separately. Apart from that, all these topics that we are giving you, this list is not an exhaustive list. We're not saying that these are all the topics that you have to read, but this is just the gist of the topics that you have to go through before appearing for the SNAP. So next slide, please. So this is my favorite slide because when we are preparing for an exam, we have a lot of misconceptions. We have a lot of myths. So I'll tell you a few myths that we have noticed, and you can tell us in the live chat that if they are true for you or not. So first myth that we have heard a lot is that SNAP is an easy exam. So personally, when I was also an aspirant, I used to think along the same lines that SNAP is the easiest exam among all. But let me tell you one thing, that although SNAP appears to be a very simple exam, but when you start giving mocks, you'll realize the importance of time management and accuracy that is very not so easy to maintain while preparing for SNAP. Apart from that, it requires no different preparation, as we have mentioned in the previous slide, that although some topics are overlapping, but there are a few topics which are new and unique to SNAP, and you should prepare for all of them. So you require a little bit more preparation also for SNAP. Third is it is easier for engineers. I myself am non-engineer. Agniva here is also non-engineer. So basically he can share his experience that from my side, I can tell that this exam was not something that I felt that me being non-engineer, it was very difficult for me. So Agniva, will you share your experience?
Yeah. So generally the perception is such because, engineers have a background in high level mathematics and will stay connected to mathematics throughout their engineering life. But the level of difficulty and the concepts that are there in the SNAP exam, they are there till class 10 level. So all of us are acquainted with all of the topics that come. Yes, maybe the application of those topics are a little bit different. But when it comes to the difficulty level, I don't think that engineers get a certain edge over non-engineers. The exam is designed in such a way such that even if you not do very well in the quant section, there are two other sections to make up for it. So please never have this perception that the quantitative section or any other section for that matter is easier for a particular set of people. The exam is designed keeping in mind that a lot of people from varied academic backgrounds will appear for it, and everybody gets a fair chance. So nothing like that. It is not at all easier for engineers. It is the same for everybody.
Thank you, Agniva, for sharing your experience with the student. So moving on to the next slide. Okay, so as again, I would like to say that sectional cutoff is something that I was very scared of because I am not so good in quants, like Agniva said, that he is good in quants, but I'm not so good in quants. So basically, clearing sectional cutoff for other entrance exams was something of a nightmare for me. But for SNAP, we can say that there is no sectional cutoff. This is a myth that there is a sectional cutoff, and we can score. We are very comfortable. It kind of makes it a very good exam to give because you don't have to just score a certain number. You just have to score a particular score to reach a certain percentile, and you can get your dream colleges. So apart from that, difficulty level is different across lots. So this is a question that comes in our mind that SNAP is giving 3 attempts. So maybe the difficulty level across all these lots would be different. So basically from my experience, I would say that in some exams, suppose in one exam, there is a difficult section of quantitative ability, but in another exam, the difficult section would be logical reasoning. So overall, the difficulty of the exam is maintained throughout all the sections. The last point, that is, it is mandatory to give all three tests. So I would say it is not compulsion. It is not written anywhere that you have to give all three tests. But from my personal experience, there are a lot of external factors that comes when you give your exams that are beyond your control. So basically, there are few exams that these are the exams that you prepare for 1 year or more, maybe more than that. So if you have more number of attempts and if you give more number of attempts, definitely your probability of scoring high would be better because you're prepared well. Apart from that, I would like to ask my fellow friends to tell their experience and tell their insights about giving 3 attempts of SAP.
Right, Antra. As I had already shared, that all the 3 attempts for me was a very helpful strategy when I was attempting SNAP last year. So, as I said, the second was the best score that was considered for me, and I think that attempting all the three, basically, the actual logic is in some of the attempts you might get some questions from sectors in which you might not be very strong at as compared to the next slot or the next slot. So you never know in which slot you are going to get points in which you are strong at. So that is the main strategy that I went by, and that was very, very helpful when I was attempting for the SNAP exam. So yeah.
There is one comment from Abhishek who said that he recommends to give all 3 slots because last year he just attempted one and it was very much tough and he kind of wasted his whole year's preparation, which was not good and which is something that nobody wants. So, and one more thing to add to this, that to get your dream college, it requires best of the 3 attempts. So, which is also a good point to notice because if you give all 3 attempts and if you take our advice or maybe Abhishek's advice, we say to give all 3 attempts. So moving on to the next slide.
Right. So after discussing all the myths and facts, let's go into the insights of how to crack the SNAP exam. So the time management is the key because we have 60 questions and 60 minutes. If you calculate, you have only 1 minute for one question. That for coming to the quant section, especially, you do not necessarily get a question that just lasts for a minute to solve. You might need some extra time in that. So you have to strategize as well in how to maximize your score, maximize the number of attempts that you do. So planning accordingly, plan your verbal ability questions in which you attempt all the verbal ability questions a little faster as compared to logical reasoning and the quant section. So that is how you can plan, and time management is the key in which you can maximize your score. Again, this can be achieved through practice. You have to practice a lot to excel in time management. Then you have to go through the questions and you have to pick the right question to attempt. So there are going to be tricky questions which might take some time or which might just be about a small concept or small formula that is not very regular to practice. So while you practice, you also have to develop the skill to pick the right questions. Picking the right questions will help you identify the question as soon as you see the paper. As soon as you go through the questions, you will know the question you are able to solve and the question that might take a little longer, and you want to attempt that question towards the last of your attempt. So that is how you have to make the decision. Again, that will come from practice. So these are the two most important insights. And then comes maximize the number of marks and minimize stress. Then again, this is a mantra that I followed while I was preparing for my SNAP exam. You have to maximize the number of marks, and that is how you practice. That is how you excel in identifying the correct questions, managing your time, and strategizing how you actually want to attempt the SNAP exam and how you want to divide your time in the 3 sections. So mock is the key that will give you the insight, and that will give you the actual picture of how you're going to attempt the actual exam. So before the D-Day, I practiced a lot of mocks. And that is how I was very confident on the D-Day, very calm. And that is one more thing that adds when you practice mock. And then the most important comes analyze and practice. So only practicing mocks does not help. You have to analyze. Suppose you're attempting a mock that is of 60 minutes, you have to give it 60 or more minutes if you have to analyze it thoroughly. So the weak points that are there, the points that you want to study further, so those kind of analysis needs to be done. And more practice and more analysis is important when you go through your mock. So that is one important thing that comes up. And this is going to boost your preparations. All of these 4 pointers are one of the major pointers that help you crack the snap exam. We also have a small surprise for you. We have a quiz waiting for you. So in that, you can see how your preparation is right now. Since we are approaching the actual D-Day, you might want to know how your preparation is. So we have a small quiz for you, which will be a 12-minute, 12 questions quiz in which there'll be no negative marking. Again, I repeat, an advantage, you have no negative marking. So just let's analyze and let's see how our preparations are right now. And one more pointer that I want to add here is while you prepare, you can also come up through our campaigns from SCMHRD social media handles on Instagram, LinkedIn, on different pages on Facebook. So on all the social media handles of SCMHRD, you admissions and PR, you can go through our campaigns that help you prepare with the formulas. So we have weekly updates on formulas, verbal ability questions, logical methods, which is a campaign that gives you an insight towards all the logical reasoning questions and keeps you up to date with the snap pattern. So for that, you can check the link in the chat box and you can follow us and we'll keep you updated in your preparation. So why not make social media a little more insightful and a little more helpful in our preparations? So yeah, so coming to that, when you're done with that, let's move on to the next slide and have our surprise reveal. So here is our quiz. You have 12 questions, 12 minutes, and we have exciting prizes for the top performers. So this is the surprise that is awaited in this VPT, and we will be rewarding our top performers. So give it your best. Uh, let's see who gets the prizes. You can scan the QR code for the question. Also, we'll have the link pasted in the chat box. So if somebody is facing any issue with the QR code, can go about with the link and attempt the quiz. So all the very best to everyone. Your time starts now.
So in the interest of you guys attempting it for the very first time, we'll be giving you 15 minutes instead of 12. That's just out of the goodness of our hearts. And in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, you can use the chat bot to ask us those. I think a few minutes ago, Prince had mentioned a question in which he had said that I am scoring 27 to 30 in mocks. How to increase my mocks to score around 45 plus? Now, look, in the previous slide, we had mentioned that, if you increase the number of mocks, you can minimize your stress. So now, in only increasing the number of mocks that you take will not be enough. If you are spending 1 hour for taking every single mock, you need to spend at least an hour and a half or 2 hours if you want to analyze it well to understand where you went wrong. For example, do the questions that you did right again. Find out if there's a shorter span of time you can complete it. If there's some certain tips or tricks that you can use while solving that particular question so that it takes you less amount of time. The questions that you got wrong, try and understand whether you got it wrong because you have a conceptual error, whether you made a silly mistake or whether you made a calculation mistake. This really helps when the D-Day comes. And as for verbal, I had mentioned previously that you can read newspapers, read as much as you can. Read books, read editorials, read newspapers, because when you read newspapers, you'll be updated with the current affairs already, which will help you immensely with your GEPI process. So these are the tricks and tips that I can give you while you're preparing for your exams and how you can increase your marks if you're not scoring that well.
Also for this quiz, your time ends at 46. So you have time. So start attempting, be quick. Let's see how well you're prepared with Snap and who are going to grab all the exciting prizes we have for you. So all the best.
So Abir Sahu had asked a question regarding what about algebra. So Abir, I can tell you one thing that as somebody who was not very good at quants, algebra was something like kryptonite for me. I used to be scared of it. I used to be really scared of it. But like I said, the good thing about Snap is that the level of concepts that you have to use when it comes to the questions in the quant section, it is still class 10 level. So I would recommend, even if you're not comfortable with algebra as a whole, at least do the basics so that you can solve at least 2 to 3 questions. I would not recommend leaving it out altogether because those 2 3 marks that you can attempt if you do just the basics, that can make all the difference when it comes to Snap. Okay? So make sure that when you're preparing, you do algebra, at least the basics, and if you're not comfortable with the subjects, at least know the different kinds of topics that come in the exam. That's about the only thing that I can tell you about once. So, Abir, about the weightage of algebra, there is no set weightage to any exam. Yes, generally the trend is that arithmetic has the highest amount of weightage in any exam. But on the other hand, if next year there is a possibility that there will be more number of algebra questions. So, it cannot be predicted that, if the paper will have 50% from algebra, 50% from other domains of arithmetic or other domains of quants. So, you should be prepared for all possibilities and you should be well versed with each and every topic.
So a question coming up for us is how to tackle QA questions. So again, as I said, when you practice mocks and you go through the variety of questions that are there, you will be able to strategize as to which section is your weakness and which section is your strength. So you can likewise practice, you can likewise improve the sections in which you are performing a little low, and you can strengthen your sections in which you are already performing well. So that is how you can improve your scoring QA. Now, as for the mock attempt, I would say initially go slow. Attempt, for example, a safe number of questions when you go about it. And then after the analysis of the first mock, go to the next mock and then try and attempt 5 more. Then in the next mock, try and attempt 2 to 3 more. So like that, you can go ahead and try to maximize the number of attempts after analyzing your previous mocks results. So that is how you can go about and prepare for all the sections, not only quant. Specifically for quant, I would say is go through the variety of questions that have come through the past papers as well. Mock from MBA Karo is very, very well when it comes to preparing you for QA and all the other sections, I would say. So that can help you a lot. Go about all these mocks provided by MBA Karo. And also that we have our campaign, that is their formula of the week, that can help you with continuous formula revision. That comes up on all social media handles. So you can go about that as well. Also, I would say we have an event that is upcoming, Rookie. So in that, we give you 3 official mocks, in which one is a small mock, in which you have 30 minutes and 30 questions. So that is a mock quiz designed for the aspirants. And then we have 2 full-length quizzes. So in that, we get 60 minutes and 60 questions, the same as what Snap follows. So you can we'll keep you updated on Rookie. It is going to be live soon, super soon. So stay tuned on all the social media handles of SCMHRD admissions and PR, and we'll keep you updated on Rookie so that it can help you with the preparations of Snap, as you are arriving the D-Day and you have to buckle up and you have to start practicing. So you can take help from the campaigns, and then Rookie is definitely coming on board. So stay tuned for that.
So we have another question from Janvi, that can you please tell some strategies to improve my marks in the mock? So see, Janvi, like Shiwangi mentioned, is that you have to analyze your mocks properly. But analyze is the word that when I was preparing, I heard a lot, but I did not know how to actually analyze my mocks. So personally, I'll give you my strategy. What I used to do is after attempting the paper, I'll give myself some hours and then I'll try to reattempt the paper, even the correct questions also. And then I used to write the topics of which I attempted the questions wrong. So basically, after 2, 3 mocks, then I used to see a general trend that what questions, what topics I'm not able to attempt in every mock. And since there is a scarcity of time every time when we are attempting mock, so basically, when I used to give the next mock exam, so what I used to do is just revise those topics that were wrong, and I used to score a little bit more. Even the 1 mark more in the mock exam can really boost your confidence. So this was my personal strategy to analyze the mocks.
So there's another question coming up for MBA BA program. So MBA BA program is so good in terms of placements, giving competition to top IIMs. So I would say that MBA BA program is definitely doing great at SCMHRD. It was my driving decision to join SCMHRD because I am coming from the same background. I am an engineer coming from the IT industry, and I do had the skills and I wanted to explore more. And MBA was my next career plan. MBA BA program was a sure shot decision because seeing the trends in the market and seeing the opportunities that are there in the industry, MBA BA is shining, and SCMHRD is giving the best of opportunities when it comes to the MBA BA program. So I would say that taking up MBA BA would be a great decision for the aspirants who are interested in this course, because the curriculum at SCMHRD is very well designed, as specific to the industry standards, and we have esteemed recruiters that come on board. We will be having a discussion on that in the slides that follow. And overall, MBA BA at SCMHRD is doing great. It is doing very well in the industry. We have framed a lot of professionals who have passed out from SCMHRD and are doing of great success in the industry. So yeah, definitely coming from the same specialization, I am very confident of my decision. And I would say that if you want to make that decision, go for it.
So Aman Kumar over here has asked a question that, sir, I have a gap of 4 years. Should I apply for SCMHRD or they will reject me? So Aman, you will be happy to know that the eligibility criteria does not mention that you need to have a specific number of gap years for you, which you will not be eligible. So that's one great thing you have. On the other hand, I can understand your anxiousness because, having gap years is something that we all think about. And I myself had 2 years of gap. And right now I'm sitting in SCMHRD. So that's not the case that, if you have gap years, you're not eligible or the SCMHRD will not take you. What matters, however, is that how you portray the gap years that you had. For example, if in those 4 years of gap, if in your interview it is asked and you say that you have done absolutely nothing, that might create a problem. But on the other hand, if you have a tangible reason for why you have 4 years of gap, if you were working, if there was some health issue that you faced, even if you just weren't sure about what to do, because that is something that I faced, I was in a different field before I wanted to do an MBA. And after a point of time, that is when I realized that, an MBA in human resources was my calling. I made the decision very, very late, and that is why I had those 2 years of gap. If you can convince the other person that the decision you made was right, but it took you a lot of time, that is not a problem at all. It just shows that you have the courage of going in a different direction. You have the courage to take risks when, the entire society or everybody is telling you not to. So having gap years is not the problem. You just need to find your own story and have your own explanation ready for why you have this 4 years of gap. That is the only criteria that you should be worried about.
At the first point, I also have some years gap, actually 2 years gap only. And this is a question that came to my mind. And apart from that, one another question that comes into your mind while preparing is that I have not scored well in my undergraduation or maybe 10th and 12th. So basically, there is one good news for you that SCMHRD does not discriminate on the basis of the marks that you have scored in 10th, 12th, or undergraduation. It basically sees your snap percentile and what you have scored in GEPI process. So I specifically said GEPI. So we will tell you more about it in the further slides. So basically, you don't even have to worry. There is a certain minimum criteria that you have to fulfill, and you will be eligible for admissions in SCMHRD.
So guys, you only have 3 more minutes to go before we stop the quiz. So we request you to give it as soon as you can, submit it. And if you've not started revising it, start revising. And you can answer all of the questions because, we have removed negative marking, something that people are scared of. So please answer all of the questions and try your luck if you want to. And apart from that, a few minutes ago, there was a question about the rankings of SCMHRD. You'll be happy to know that SCMHRD has been ranked 8th in India by the Financial Times in the Masters in Management course and 76th globally, which is something that is incredible. On top of that, a few days ago, the course that SCMHRD offers was one of the courses that ranked in the LinkedIn list of courses, and it was ranked under 100. Okay, so I think that is something that is really great, and I think something that shows what SCMHRD is capable of. And after this quiz, we will tell you about some of the things that we have in our college, which separates us and which puts us in the league of some of the best institutions in the entire country. And I would even say with the rest of the world as well. So stay tuned for that.
Sarthak is asking, is there negative marking? So yes, Sarthak, for the quiz today, no. But for the actual SNAP exam, yes, you do have negative marking. There is a negative marking of 0.25 for each wrong attempt that you do. So you have to be careful while you try to maximize your score. You do have to consider that you can get a negative mark if it goes wrong.
So guys, last 1 minute, start wrapping up, start submitting the quiz. And all the best.
So how many of you have already submitted the quiz? You can tell us in the chat. And how was it? How was the quiz? You can tell us your experience as well. Was it easy? Was it moderate? Which section was your doable section? And which was a difficult section? We'd love to know that. So do tell us. In the last 1 minute, oh, and the time is up. So guys, the time is up, and I would request everybody to submit the quiz.
Yes.
For all the aspirants who have not yet submitted, hurry up. This is your time, and then we'll be closing the link. So I would request everyone to submit the quiz. I hope you had a great experience while going through. It was a great practice for every one of you. And definitely the exciting prizes that are awaited for the best performers.
So I think it's time that we close the link now because, we have given you 15 minutes for it. So unfortunately, we'll not be accepting any more responses and we will be moving on with the presentation. Not an issue, guys. It's okay. I'm sure you did your best. And please stay tuned. We have the results of the quiz right here and we will be announcing them at the end of the presentation. And I'm sure you guys will be excited for it. So moving on with the presentation. Next slide, please. So yes, now talking about SCMHRD. Now, it was established in the year 1993 and we have over 31 years of legacy. Now, in this amount of time, we have made progress by leaps and bounds. SCMHRD is one of the topmost colleges that you want to get into after giving your SNAP exam. The cutoff for our college generally goes up to 98, 99 percentile. So you can understand the kind of skills and capabilities that you need to have to get into SCMHRD. On top of that, we have the AACSB and the MBA accreditation. The AACSB accreditation is something that only 5% of all B schools across the world have. Something the likes of Harvard Business School, Wharton, Kellogg's, these are the kind of institutions that have this accreditation. Now, the reason this accreditation is so important is that it makes sure that, the curriculum, the infrastructure, as well as the faculty, as well as the courses that are taught in our college is up to the standards of the industry trends. When you come to our college, you'll find out that we have a Bloomberg lab and all of the infrastructure lab that we have over infrastructure things that we have over here, it is up to date with the industry standards. And that is something that is very, very relevant in today's day and age. Apart from that, we have diverse offerings. We have MBA specializations in HR, finance, sales and marketing, operations. Then there is a separate MBA specialization called MBA in Business Analytics and MBA in Infrastructure Development and Management, which we will be covering in the next slide. On top of that, I personally believe that the best thing about SCMHRD is that it is a completely student-driven college. Now, for example, we are the admissions and PR team. Okay, we are responsible for the entire admissions process as well as all of the PR activities that our college carries out. The campaigns and the events that we run is completely designed by us, created by us, budgeted by us, and all of the important decisions are taken by us, the students. What this basically enables you to do is that from the moment you're inside the college, you have a tremendous amount of responsibility on your shoulders, which basically prepares you for what is about to come in life. So no matter what kind of challenges life throws at you, you will never be afraid to take them head on. That is the kind of, that is how SCMHRD shapes you as an individual. And you will get to know more about what are the culture of SCMHRD is like when we talk about our huge alumni network. And yeah, let's move on to the next slide. Now, talking about the courses that are offered at SCMHRD, we have MBA Core, in which there are specializations in human resources, sales and marketing, finance, as well as operations. Coming to MBA in Business Analytics, it is a separate specialization altogether. And for this, the eligibility criteria is slightly different. Now, coming to MBA in Infrastructure Development and Management, it is something that not a lot of colleges offer. It is a very niche course that SCMHRD offers, and we have one of the best courses in the country. Same is the case with business analytics because it was started in the year 2017. And in the 7 years that have passed since then, we have made progress by leaps and bounds. And you will get to know shortly about why I'm saying that the business analytics course that we have is one of the best in the country. Talking about the batch intake, there are 180 seats in MBA Core Program. There are 90 seats in MBA in Business Analytics, and there are 60 seats in MBA in Infrastructure Development and Management. Next slide, please. Talking about the admission process at SCMHRD. Now, merely appearing for the SNAP exam and getting a good percentile is not enough. After that, you have to appear for the process that is called the GE and PI process. Now, please note that the GE is slightly different from a GD. In a GD, you are given a topic and you are asked to express your own opinions about it. You essentially have to make the panelists as well as the other people in the team believe that you have the most logical and the best ones. In a group exercise, however, you will be given a problem statement. And at the end of the time that is allotted to you, you as a group have to come up with a common consensus of what the solution to that particular problem is going to look like. It basically this process is basically meant for us to see that how well you can solve problems by discussing with your team, how well you can think on your own feet and give logical explanations for your solutions, and how open you are to input from everybody else. That is what we want to see. Coming to the PI, it is called a personal interaction and not a personal interview because it is a little bit more informal in nature. Yes, the kind of questions that will be asked to you will be similar to that of a personal interview, but it is not necessary that you have to know the answer to all of the questions that are asked to you in a personal interaction. We basically just want to see how well you respond to different situations. The knowledge aspect, definitely when you come to SCMHRD, we can take care of. But on the other hand, it is your personality that we're trying to gauge. Because when you come to SCMHRD, you have to gel well with the culture that we have over here. You have to be open to taking knowledge from others. You have to have the kind of team spirit that we need to survive in an environment like this. So that is all that we want to see. Coming to the weightage that we have for each of these processes, the SNAP score that you have out of 60 will be scaled down to a score of 50. And that consists of 50% weightage of the entire process. For GE, only 10% weightage is provided to you. For PI, you have 40% weightage provided to that. And please note that only those candidates who appeared for all of the components of the above mentioned procedures shall be considered to be eligible for the final merit list or wait list that will be provided by SCMHRD. Moving on.
Before you move on, we have a question from Rishi. He asks how to start preparation from now, was preparing for state, but I feel give a good try for the remaining 50 days. So Rishi, I would say that you can go about the mocks, as I said, that can help you judge your preparation as of today. And then you can strategize and plan your like your plan of how to go about the course and how to maximize your score. So that is one thing. And then you can always follow us on the social media handles. We have our campaigns that will keep you up to date with the pattern and all the formulas, verbal questions, and all the logical reasoning questions that are weekly updated through our campaigns. So you can go about that. And then also we have Rookie, which is coming up. There's an event that is organized by SCMHRD Admissions and PR team. So in that event, you'll get 3 mock quizzes, in which one will be a mini mock quiz in which you get 30 questions in 30 minutes, and then 2 full length quizzes, which will be 60 minutes and 60 questions each. So in that, you will be able to have more practice. You can get a boost of your scores when you go about the number of mocks and you increase it continuously. So that is the only strategy that can help you excel in the SNAP exam, and it is never too late. So for your preparations, you're not late at all. You can definitely start today itself, and you can get into SNAP and get into the best B school. So all the best for your preparations. Yeah.
Moving ahead, talking about the eligibility for the various courses offered. So for the MBA course, freshers like me, I'm a fresher, we can apply. And the admission criteria is of securing a minimum of 50% marks in your undergraduation. So while preparing, everybody is confused that I've scored this much percentage in my undergrad. Will I be eligible for a certain college, or will I get a good college? So basically in SCMHRD, we just have a minimum of 50% marks with eligibility criteria. Apart from that, for BA course, Business Analytics course, we have an eligibility of minimum of 2 years of full-time work experience after your graduation in any field. For MBA in Infrastructure Development and Management, we have eligibility of you being a graduate in any BE or BTech or BArch from a recognized university or institute of national importance. Or apart from that, if you don't have this, you should have a minimum 12 months of work in infrastructure consultancy, real estate, logistics, supply chain, or any other infrastructure industry. So moving ahead. Talking about the batch profile for the MBA course, so the average age is 24 years, average work experience is 11.2 months. And as you can see, that there is a very big question that goes around, is that are work people more preferred and freshers are not. So you can see from this graph that we have 46% of freshers, which is a really good point. Apart from that, the work experience people's background is very diverse. They come from various backgrounds like real estate, media, education, e-commerce. So you can see a very good mix of batch for MBA course. Moving ahead. So for MBA in Business Analytics, the average age is 26 years and 1 month, and the average work experience is 35 months. And the various backgrounds that work experience students come from is FMCG, healthcare, media and advertising, consulting, etc. Moving ahead. So the batch profile for MBA in IDM. So average age is 25 years and 1 month. Average work experience is 14.6 months. And the various experience background that WorkX people come from are retail and e-commerce, manufacturing, and real estate. So moving ahead. So one thing that we all want to know about before joining any college is what are their placement numbers. So basically for the MBA course, the summer placement for the batch of 2023 to 2025 was the highest stipend was 4.5 lakh for 2 months, and the average stipend was 2.48 lakh, and the median stipend was 2 lakh. The final placement for the batch of 2022 to 2024 was 38 lakhs per annum, and the average CTC was 24.28 lakh, and the median CTC was 22.8 lakhs. Moving ahead. For MBA in Business Analytics, the summer placement was highest stipend was 3 lakhs, the average stipend was 1.38 lakh, and the median stipend was 1.4 lakh. For the final placement, the highest salary was 41.9 lakh per annum. The average was 22.14 lakh per annum. So moving ahead, for MBA in IDM, the summer's placement numbers, the highest stipend was 2.5 lakh, the average stipend was 0.71 lakh, and the median stipend was 0.7 lakh. And for the final placement, the highest was 28.9 lakh per annum, and the average was 15.98 lakh. Moving ahead.
So let's talk about our esteemed recruiters. So SCMHRD is really proud to bring about all the esteemed recruiters on this board on this particular slide. You can see all of these great recruiters on campus at SCMHRD bringing great opportunities for the students here. And they are offered various roles throughout the years, which can help the students establish a great profile in the industry after completing their MBA course. So we are really proud to bring about all these recruiters on campus and in front of you, so that you can go ahead and know all of these recruiters that will be on board if you get a chance to be at SCMHRD. So let me know every one of you that do you see your dream companies here in this particular slide? Do you see companies that you want to work with when you have completed your MBA and you want to work with a particular company? Do ping us in the chat and let me know, because I can see mine here, my dream company, and sure, I believe so do you.
How many of you want to work for Google over here?
I can see responses coming in. So yeah, that is how you go about when companies visit us on campus and offer great opportunities, great roles that gives a very strong boost when we join the industry after completing our MBA. Continuing with the next slide. So one of my favorite slide is this, the campus highlight slide. So in here, let's discuss what apart from the academics is going to be. So I just want to know how many sports enthusiasts on campus. You can ping us in the chat. Cricket, football, various sports. Because I believe we have one here with us amongst the hosts, Agniva. I always find him in the sports arena playing cricket. So yes, so we do have a multi-sports arena in which we offer great sports opportunities. We have almost all sports activities that you are interested in, and students do indulge in their free time whenever we have a class off, and in the evenings generally we do find a bunch of students playing different basketball, football, table tennis. So various activities are there on the multi-sports arena. Not only that, we have swimming pool and the gymnasium that is there on campus for the students who like to indulge in physical activities, being fit throughout their MBA course, and also who want to learn swimming, because me before joining here did not know how to, and it was one of my checklists in life. So yes, a swimming pool is one area where I like to visit and I like to learn swimming. So that is there available on campus. And then we have our auditorium in which all our major events are held with great media facilities. And then we have our library, which is equipped with great knowledgeable stuff. We have online as well as offline resources in which the students can make the most of it while preparing for their MBA courses. Not only that, if you want to excel in any other skill, you are most welcome in our library, which is available for the students 24/7. So the library is one place where you can find all kinds of books, and you will have a great time when you want to explore more on the course. And then coming to the most uh, fun area, which I would say is the eateries on SCMHRD campus. We have Simbi Eats and Urban Katta. So Simbi Eats takes care of our cravings when in between the classes we crave for something healthy, coffee. And Urban Katta is our go-to place when after the assignments we want to have a discussion, take some time off for ourselves, have a good discussion, or just a normal chit chat. Urban Katta remains open for us even at 3 to 4 a.m. And we do spend the most of our time, my team, Agniva, Antra, and the rest of us, we are always found there after we complete our day's work. And we are there at Urban Katta sharing Antra's favorite cold coffee, I would say. Do you agree with me, Antra?
Yes, I love cold coffee, and because of that, I have very frequently catch cold. But the cold coffee is so tasty that you cannot resist that.
Right. So this is how it goes at SCMHRD. Apart from all the courses and all the other activities we do as students, we do have a lot of fun on campus. It is a greatly equipped campus when it comes to other activities apart from the academics, as you can see. And we have a great time bonding and going along with the life at SCMHRD. Moving on with the next slide. So again, another slide that SCMHRD is very, very proud to bring forward to all the aspirants out here. This is the board of our illustrious alumni, which are there on, they're associated with SCMHRD. All of these esteemed names out here have been a part of SCMHRD, and we still do get a chance to interact with all of these amazing, well-established individuals. How many Shark Tank fans here? I am really sure you can find one of the familiar faces that you can see here on our board. If somebody can do ping us on the chat, we'd love to know. So if somebody does not know, it is Vikas D. Nahar, who's the founder and CEO of Happylo, and he had made an impactful presence in the Shark Tank episodes. And we do get to interact and share Vikas as our esteemed alumni at SCMHRD. Not only him, we have Sharda Sridhar, who is the Vice President of JP Morgan, and we have Aditi Nair, who is the MDHR head of Barclays Asia Pacific. Not only that, from the entertainment industry, we have Sona Mohapatra, who's a Bollywood singer, esteemed very well and famous songs that you've heard from her. And Nikhil Dwivedi, again, who is an actor and producer. He is also from SCMHRD, and we, being lucky, got a chance to interact with Nikhil on our initial days on campus. And through his insights, we got the assurance that SCMHRD is the best place to build our personality, because he had the opportunity to do the same. He says that whatever he is achieving right now in the entertainment industry, handling all of the things as a producer and an actor, all the pressure and all the skills to go about the profession, he does owe SCMHRD, and he does cherish the fact that he got to learn so much from the institute. So yeah, all of these familiar faces, the Sudhir Pai, the CEO of Magic Bricks, all of these esteemed faces we share to you with much pride, our illustrious alumni board. Moving ahead. So we have come to the end of our session, and we thank each one of you for joining the session. We will now declare the winners and of our quiz, the most awaited part, I guess, for all of you. Everybody wants to know who performed the best. So let's see who. Let's guess who did the best.
So before we announce the results, I would ask the chat to ask us any kinds of doubts that you have, whether it be related to the college, it be related to your preparation for SNAP, anything that you want to ask us. Because we were on the other side of things less than a year ago. We understand that the exams are near and a lot of you are anxious about a lot of things. And we as students, we can provide you some insights that help us keep calm last year and perform to the best of our abilities. So anything that you want to ask us about SCMHRD, about ourselves, about anything that you want to, you can ask. You can even ask about the different specializations that we have. We'll be really, really happy to tell you.
So we have one question from Vishnu, that how to start preparing from now he was preparing for state but I failed to give a good try for the remaining 50 days. So, telling from my personal experience, since I have a 2 years of gap, I was also initially trying for government exams. As you can see that the pattern somehow in some exams, in most of the exams, you'll get the three sections: English, logical reasoning, and verbal ability, logical reasoning, and quantitative ability. So basically, if you want to shift there and you want to give SNAP a try, you can definitely, because the syllabus and the preparation is not very much different. So you can start from now, and 50 days is not very less to achieve a really good score and to get converted to a very good college.
So let's come to the most awaited part. We will now declare the best performers of the quiz. So the first best performer was Ritvik Thakur. Congratulations, Ritvik. And the second best performer was V. Varun Pingale. So congratulations to both of you. You did really well. Congratulations on that. Going great with the preparation. So all the best. And for the aspirants who attempted the quiz and are not amongst the top two performers, do not get disheartened. You are doing really well, and rest assured, you have a lot of time to prep up and buckle up. So go about it. Go about the preparation. Do go through the mocks as we have repeatedly said. You are going to do great. So all the best for your snap, and many congratulations again to both of the winners.
So we had a question over here that how is the MBA in finance at SCMHRD? It belonged to Manas Jalan. So now let me tell you that the finance department is one of the best in the country. And the course that we have here at SCMHRD was the first course which in the entire country which was recognized by the CAP board. So that is the kind of curriculum that we follow over here. On top of that, we make sure that all of the faculty that we have over here to teach finance are industry experts. There are some people who have decades of experience. And when you're doing case competitions and when you are doing assignments and projects, the kind of exposure and the kind of guidance that you get from them is unmatched. And apart from that, even the curriculum, we have Bloomberg terminals, and I'm sure finance enthusiasts know what all Bloomberg terminals are and how expensive the subscriptions are, and actually how well it helps in finance related technical things. So we have 4 of these terminals at our college, and whenever we have certain assignments, certain projects, we are free to use these facilities whenever we want to. So rest assured that the finance course at SCMHRD is one of the best in the world. And I think Antra can take the same question that was asked about sales and marketing.
So yes, Samir asked how is marketing in SCMHRD. So I am currently pursuing sales and marketing, as I told everyone before. So basically, you can see the placement figures also that we have shown in the previous slide. And apart from that, there are a lot of opportunities that you get in this college, be that live projects, be that case competitions, where you learn a lot about marketing. And there are a lot of simulations in class, real life simulations and real life case studies that are taught, which are really helpful. So you'll get a very good overall experience of marketing in SCMHRD.
So thank you everyone for joining. It was a great session. We had a very interactive and exciting crowd. We love to have this session today. And here is the QR for all of our social media handles. We also have the links pasted in the chat if in case anybody has a problem with scanning the code. So you can scan, you can follow the link, you can follow us on all the social media handles that are mentioned also on the screen. And we will keep you updated with the snap patterns as well. You can go about with the campaigns that we run for your preparations, so that can help you. Let's make social media again a little insightful and driven towards our preparations in the last leg of our preparations right now. And yeah, so we are going to keep you updated on that, and also Rookie that is coming up as an event which can help you with mock practice. So that is also coming up shortly, and we will have the dates on board on our social media handles. So do follow us. We'll keep you updated on that. And if you have any further queries, you can DM us on the same, and we will be happy to help you after the sessions as well. So thank you, everyone.